Welcome back to the coffee bar with your favorite bartender, A5 Cup of Coffee, and we are back again with another sip and review. We're going to be covering The Boys Season 2, the first 3 episodes. It just dropped last night, about 11:30. That's when I checked, and I was able to watch it. So I watched it, guys. I'm sorry I had to. I've been waiting on this forever. So I hope y'all take this review, y'all go check it out. It's definitely worth the watch. I'm gonna tell y'all right off top, not gonna even hold you on what my rating is right now. They are killing it with a nice solid 8.59 with these first 3 episodes, and I definitely hope they continue everything. So the way they're gonna actually do this is, of course, the first 3 episodes came out Friday, and they're gonna launch 1 episode every Friday until the end of the season. And then I heard a rumor, Allison, I heard a rumor that they're going to do a mini movie at the end of the season, and it's going to follow Butcher. So hopefully all that comes to fruition. And since I said I heard a rumor, maybe even if it's not, it actually is going to happen anyway. So let's get through the characters and what's going on with each character, and it'll basically cover the first 3 episodes. So the drink we're going to be having today is the Oreo Surprise. The Oreo Surprise is absolutely wonderful. I'll leave the ingredients below and the link to the video that I actually made this on, so y'all can check it out if y'all want to go ahead and make the drink and then come back and listen to the review. Also, right before we get started, I want to give a special shout out to Mr. Sean Thomas, founder of Sharkansas Incorporated, and here is his shirt. He actually let me have this, so appreciate it, brother. I will be looking forward to actually buying a lot more for you. Definitely a good supporter, definitely showing me some things, and like I said, I wish you well in your endeavors in this. We got to help each other out during this whole pandemic process. So, in any case, let's get to The Boys Season 2. So, this thing opens up brutal. So, I know you all have seen the preview, so we're gonna start off with Black Noir. You have the meeting scene with the gentleman from Supernatural, as a matter of fact, and you actually have John Esposito, who actually is basically overbought at this point, since Stillwell's out. He was over her anyway, but we have that conversation going on that y'all have already seen in the preview. And Black Noir, during this conversation, they're flashing to Black Noir, and he is basically, man, slicing and dicing people. They even have a part where he basically rips this guy's jaw in half, and of course, it's graphic, it's on Prime, they show everything. Awesome scene, and then he gets blown up by the person he's after, the super terrorist, as they call him. Product of Homelander's activities last season. And man, it doesn't faze Black Noir at all. And all you see is him cut his head off. And of course, they show the scene where he's playing with the kid, where he's doing the little bunny. Awesome opening sequence. And the thing I want to say, if y'all read the graphic novel and y'all know what's going on with Black Noir, they may change it in the series and they may not. But just in case, don't spoil it for anybody else. I definitely went back and read the series. I've read it twice at this point, and it's pretty graphic as well. But yeah, don't give any spoilers on Black Noir. In any case, we're gonna move forward, and we move forward to Translucent's funeral, where Homelander is basically doing his whole fake thing and acting like he really misses Translucent or whatnot, and they basically blamed it on the super terrorist that Black Noir went and killed. They said that's how he died, because of course they can't tell people, that superheroes are getting defeated by normal people. And as you all know, Translucent died back in season 1. And in any case, you have Stargirl, who's introduced, and she's singing a song to Translucent as a tribute. And man, Stargirl has, I gotta say, regressed a little bit in my eyes, and I only say that because she was really against wearing the outfit that they had picked out for, because how showing it was and whatnot. And there's actually a joke thrown out, I'll let y'all know later, But there's actually a joke thrown out about her outfit or whatnot. But in any case, we follow Stargirl and Huey, our other main protagonists. Stargirl and Huey are working together, but you can tell they still have some animosity because Stargirl doesn't fully trust Huey because he was lying to her the whole time in last season. And they're on this quest to get the Compound V formula so they can out Vault. So that's what they're doing, and Huey is trying to be the new leader of the boys, and nobody's kind of really feeling it. They don't want to get dragged back into the fray, even though they already are in the thick of it. And you got Mother's Milk and Frenchie, and they're kind of like, we don't really want to get back into this, and let alone with you. So Huey's kind of dealing with that. He's trying to be the leader. He's trying to let them know that they don't need Butcher or whatnot, and they're kind of like, okay, so what we do? And Huey never really has an answer. So Huey's dealing with that, and he's dealing with the thing with Stargirl all at the same time. Now, Mother's Milk is still kind of dealing with a lot right now because last season his wife and his little girl end up leaving because he was back in the thick of things. And he's really worried about them. He wants to, of course, see them as a father. I definitely understand. He wants to get back with his family. And that's one of the biggest reasons why he doesn't want to get pulled completely back in. Frenchie, he's actually trying to assist the female. That's her name as of right now. And he still can't completely communicate, but you can tell that they still have that bond going on, and he's really trying to help her. And Frenchie, his people, well, quote unquote people, are actually who the boys are staying with underground as of right now. So they're kind of all dealing with that, and the female is trying to communicate, and these are the things that are happening. And so they actually see that there's a actual super terrorist that actually lands from a boat, and it looks like he has telekinetic powers. And so the female is trying to communicate with Frenchie, but he doesn't understand, and we'll find out what she's trying to say to him in a few moments. In any case, all this is going on, and the cool thing about it is, they're trying to go about all this the quote unquote right way. And they try to get some information from one of the CIA agents, and when they end up getting the information, or they start putting the puzzle together, her head explodes, like all over Huey, all over Mother's Milk, and it's a crazy scene. It's a crazy scene. They do a meet, and her head completely explodes, and so they run back to the hideout. They don't know what to make of it, and it's absolutely nuts. So while this is going on with the boys, back with the seven, you got Starlight. She's still kind of dealing with how she let Huey go, because guess what? A-Train's back, and A-Train is back, and he remembers everything, and he's basically kind of harassing her a little bit, kind of trying to say he's gonna out her, but he doesn't. And they're trying to figure out, he's basically kind of going back and forth with her or whatnot, and you can tell the tension is kind of rising between those two on that side of things. So by the end of the first episode, Butcher actually ends up coming back. Frenchie calls him back into the fray, and he's been gone for a while, and Huey's definitely giving him the third degree or whatnot, and Butcher just kind of shrugs him off like, dude, I'm the leader of this team at the end of the day, and what you say don't matter. So we catch up back with Butcher, and we know at this point that Butcher knows his wife is alive, Becca. We know that, we know she's alive, and we know that Homelander had a interesting encounter with his wife, and now Homelander and his wife actually have a son. And basically what Becca ended up doing, from what I can surmise, they don't really actually say it, but I'm thinking that she basically made a deal with Homelander where he can come see his son, but he had to promise not to kill Butcher after the end of last season. So, Butcher wakes up. That's why you see the scene where Butcher wakes up and he's in the middle of, pretty much, he doesn't know where he is. And he writes these coordinates down on a menu in a restaurant. I'm really not exactly sure what that means as of yet, but yeah, that happens. And it's absolutely nuts because Homelander's just making these visits to Becca and their son at this point. And Becca doesn't want of course she doesn't want anything to do with Homelander. She just wants to make sure that Butcher was safe. And I like I said, from what I can gather, I feel like she saved his life with, a deal with their son, or with her Homelander's son. So Homelander is kind of busy dealing with trying to be there for his son because, of course, y'all, as you all know, Homelander never had an actual mom or dad. So he kind of wants to be there, and it's kind of a different side of him that you're seeing. He's still a spoiled brat as a man, but he's trying to, let his son know, hey, you're a superhero, this, that, and other. His son has no clue. He absolutely has no clue. And you actually see this scene, or you already seen it in the preview, where he basically pushes him off the roof. Well, mild spoiler, yeah, he doesn't fly. He just hits the floor. And it's like I said, it's absolutely nuts on that, and we'll come back to that in a second. But yeah, so Homelander's kind of dealing with that, and then you have the Deep, who is actually still kind of separated from the Seven, and he's actually kind of trying to come to terms on why he demeans women. And he has a character called Eagle Eye. Correct me in the comments. I believe his name is Eagle Eye, but he's kind of like a Hawkeye ripoff or whatnot. And he's trying to help Homelander come to terms on, why he does the things that he does, why he demeans women or whatnot. And the secret thing to everything is he feels like everybody's gonna laugh at him because of his gills. And of course, we've seen last season he has his gills on his side. That's why he wears the Aquaman type shirt or whatnot. And he basically thinks he's ugly, so he makes other people feel below him. That's what we come to realize or whatnot. And so the Eagle Eye character, and I'm gonna say his therapist, she said that she's not a therapist, but I'm gonna say she's his therapist. They basically try to get the Deep come to terms with himself. That way he can rejoin the Seven. So that's what's going on with the Deep. And then we have Maeve, who's actually dealing with a lot as well. She gets a call, as a matter of fact, and she goes to see the same lady we saw last season, which, from what we can all gather, they don't really outwardly say it, but they were together at one point, and all of a sudden Maeve started ghosting her. And basically she finally explains to her why she ghosted her. And basically Homelander, he's just a piece of work. He basically murdered a guy who wanted to sit by Maeve at one point. And so she basically ghosted her significant other because she actually did care about this lady, and she didn't want anything to happen to her. She just kind of explained to her some of the stuff she's seen Homelander do, made her do. The plane scene, as a matter of fact, is a great example. And she just does not want her significant other to actually experience anything like that. And she asked her why she told her now instead of back then. She's like, I just didn't want you to, keep trying to come back. And at this point, I don't want you to hate me anymore. So she finally tells her, what's going on and why, she kind of ghosted her and whatnot. So that's the thing on Maeve. And that, you kind of get a better understanding of why she's just like a drunken mess, because she's basically trapped in a semi-relationship with Homelander that she doesn't want to be in. It's kind of like an abusive relationship. So that's what's going on with Queen Maeve. Now, just to kind of tie everything up in one big bow, the super terrorist, you find out that it's actually the female's brother. And they go to, she tries to have like a family reunion. Of course, Butcher isn't having it, because if he turns in the super terrorist, then he gets information on his wife. So that's what's going on with that, with the new quote unquote super terrorist. And so while they are doing that, the Seven are actually having this girl power moment, and this is with Maeve, Starlight, and mostly Starlight and Stormfront. And Stormfront is basically, I'm gonna say whatever I want to say whenever I want to say it, and she's the one who actually makes the crack about Starlight's outfit, talking about some shit. We can basically see her uterus in the costume, and she's very showy. As opposed to her outfit in the first season, in the beginning of the first season. So she's not wrong, but it's absolutely hilarious. So like I said, all of this is going on, and they're trying to have, the girl power thing going on. And man, dude, while Stormfront is put on the team, Homelander actually goes and confronts Stillwell's boss about it, and he tries to intimidate him, but man, Esposito is not going. He basically looks him in the eye like, I don't have to run anything by you. You're just a man-child at the end of the day, and Vought owns you at the end of the day. So that's how that goes down. And Stormfront is basically ruffling a few feathers, because she just, like I said, she's brash and she says what she wants. And so what ends up happening is, while the boys do catch the super terrorists, and this is where we get to the boat scene that everybody saw in the preview. The Deep is actually trying to stop them, and he gets on the actual shoreline with the whale, and of course Butcher just rams the whale. And so him, Huey, Mother's Milk, and Frenchie, and the female and her brother actually go down the storm drains. The Seven get there, and of course they have an uncomfortable moment with Starlight and the Deep. And if you saw the first season, you know where they come from. And so they go into the storm drains, and Starlight ends up quote unquote catching Huey, and Homelander basically demands, hey, kill him. And luckily Butcher kind of steps in the way, and the female's brother brings down the upper part of the storm drain on Homelander. So he escapes. The female goes after him, and during this time, A-Train starts having like heart palpitations. I guess he's still having issues with that and the Compound V and what's going on there. So while all this is happening, Huey and Butcher are kind of having a love-hate relationship, where Butcher is he doesn't give him much credit. The good news is, right before that happened, Starlight and Huey were able to out-Vought about the Compound V, and that superheroes aren't born, but they're made by Vought, and they have been for years. And so all of that is going on, and Butcher's like, yeah, good one, or whatnot. And Mother's Milk kind of steps in for Huey and is kind of like, hey, you know what? We've been trying to do this for years. He actually does it, and that's all you give him. And Butcher is really kind of focused on his own agenda. And back in the storm drains, Huey does take his hand and help. And they kind of make a little reconciliation about that. But meanwhile, this is where we actually see Stormfront for what she is. She kind of seems kind of cool and laid back, but man, when she's chasing the female and her brother, man, she is just murdering people. Like people that they kind of run past. She basically lightning strikes him. She throws him out the window. Like, she is just outwardly murdering people. It's absolutely nuts how she is. And so she catches up to the female and her brother, and she shocks the female. Of course, the female is superhuman strength and healing, but her brother doesn't have that luxury. And Stormfront shocks the female, kind of incapacitates her for a minute, catches up to her brother, and of course he's telekinetic with his hands. So she breaks his hands at the wrist, and you see like the bone come out, and everything is actually, like I said, it's absolutely nuts. And he, of course, he can't use his powers anymore. And so she basically does the most devious thing ever. She like chokes him out and makes sure that she sees his eyes like him dying. Then she breaks his neck. It's absolutely nuts. Like, the scene is absolutely nuts. Please watch it. It's absolutely nuts. And so Homelander actually catches up to her, and he was like, I told you that, you know, the super terrorist was mine. And she was just basically like, whatever. She has no qualms about saying what she has to say, even to Homelander. She's like, man, catch up, Gramps, and walks past him like you're nothing. So Homelander is dealing with a lot in this first 3 episodes. He's dealing with his son, and you know, his son, we do find out he does have powers. He's actually strong enough to knock Homelander down. So he's dealing with that because he hates Homelander at this point, by the end of the 3rd episode. And then he's dealing with Stormfront. And then he's dealing with him not being in control in Vault. So he actually, even though he's our antagonist, he's actually dealing with a lot. Huey is, of course, dealing with a lot. And then we have, of course, Butcher trying to get back to his Becca, as he calls her. So first 3 episodes are a whirlwind of action, storyline, plot. I love the way this is written. I love the way that it's shot. I actually have no complaints about this at all. I have no complaints about The Boys season 2. I'm even glad that they are doing the 3 episodes and then one every Friday. This gives me something to look at. I wish they had done the Umbrella Academy season 2 like this, because I just binge watched through that, and I was just twiddling my fingers until this came out. So I'm glad they're doing this. So basically we'll have maybe a month and a half of episode by episode, and I'll cover every episode if that's what you all want me to do. But yeah, definitely go to the comments, like, share, subscribe, please, and check out the Oreo surprise. Like I said, I'll leave the link on how to make it down below. Y'all can check out that video. Y'all support Sharkansas, especially if y'all from here in Arkansas. Mr. Sean Thomas, once again, another salute. This has been your favorite bartender, A5 Cup of Coffee, and thanks for joining me at the coffee bar.